Alright everyone, so for today's video, I'm actually, yes, I know, I'm ahead of time, but I'm starting an early Christmas holiday card, and the idea popped into my head. It's probably going to show up again in October for one of the Card a Day Challenge blog, but I had to get it out because it popped in my head. So what I'm doing is I'm taking these snowflakes from the Snowflakes 3. It's a Stampin' Up! Stamp set, and I'm stamping this particular one in Smoky Slate, and then I'm going to stamp the larger snowflake in the Craft White, which is the pigment ink. And right here I realized I probably should have put down my Tim Holtz mat. I wasn't thinking about the fact that I probably would be stamping off, and you know, the pigment ink stays wet longer. So once I clean this up, I go ahead and start moving stuff around, and I get my craft sheet, my craft mat out, so that way it's easier to clean up. I don't know why I didn't do this at first, but I realized that it was something that I needed to do, and I am going to move the camera a little bit. Sorry about that, but I just wanted to make sure everything was covered. Now, the one piece that I have right there, I'm trying to figure out my stamping area and where I'm going to put the sentiment. Excuse me. So I'm stamping the craft one more time. I'll go ahead and wipe that off, so I don't want to smear all over. And then I take my other one in the middle, and I was stamping that one with the Smoky Slate again. And that's what I like about the craft and using something like the Smoky Slate. They can overlap each other, and the white one's going to look like it's standing on the outside. And then I took the smaller snowflake, and I'm just stamping it around in the VersaFine Black Onyx ink. And after I got a couple of those on, I decided to go ahead and get the sentiment, which is Believe, inked up with the VersaFine as well. And then right here, I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to put it on more horizontal, which way I was going to have this lay on the card. And I decided to turn it back to the standard up and down, you know, instead of doing like a side fold card or something like that. And then I'm just going to close up my ink pads right here to get those out of the way. And I'm grabbing my clear embossing powder, because with using the pigment inks, it just would make it dry quicker to just sprinkle over the card with the clear embossing powder, heat it up, and then that way you don't have to worry about smearing or anything like that. So I'm just putting the powder on and then tapping it off. And once I get that all done, I'm going to go ahead and close up our, the container right here, because I run the risk, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I do run the risk of knocking it over possibly. So I always try to close it back up. And then what I'm going to do here is heat up the heating tool. Try to get it warmed up. And then I'm just going to go over the entire front to make sure that the embossing powder melts. And it's harder, well, some of it you can see because the gray gets a little bit darker or the black gets a little bit shiny. It's easier to see the difference in person. That's why you see me turning and tilting and trying to make sure that everything is melting correctly and looks right. So once we get that done, I had already cut out the base or the matte piece for this. And I think the gray sheet, as I'm telling you, I'm going to write it down so I can make sure I get it in the notes. But the gray focal piece that we were just stamping, I made 4 by 5 1/4. And then the white sheet, I made 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. So that way it creates a nice even border all the way around. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my card base here. I'm just going to grab out the little score Betty and score it at 4 1/4. And then that's our card base. And we're just going to use the ATG gun. I had it out from my crop that I went to, so it was right there. Easy to grab. I like using both. It doesn't matter. I just use the tape runner a lot more, especially for videos, because it's smaller. And you know how we do. Sometimes we work on top of other stuff. So you just saw in the last video I did yesterday the Nouveau droplets that I got in. Well, I've taken the ivory. This one is the ivory seashell, and I'm putting that in the center of each of the snowflakes. And then once I hit all of the centers, I'm going to also put a few dots around the word believe and like up in the corner, basically using this almost like you would a sequin, right? So it's the accent, but this I like because you can do small dots, bigger, you can have a little bit of control on the size of the droplets that you're putting down. And there is our card. Simple, pretty, and believe, it sticks out, even though you have all those beautiful snowflakes. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe, and please share. And I will see you guys with our next video, which is our sketch video for Friday. Thanks, and have a good one.